Many people who are in business with themselves use part of their homes for conducting their businesses, and in certain cases, the IRS will allow you to take a deduction from business income for any expenses associated with business use of the home. There are two methods the IRS allows for claiming expenses related to business use of the home, and in this video, we're going to look at the simpler of the two. I'm the Tax Geek, and here is business use of the home, simplified method, oversimplified. Before we get into how to calculate and claim expenses for business use of the home, let's look at what type of uses qualify. First, the space in the home must be the principal place of business. This means that substantially all business, administrative, or management activities must occur within the space in the home. A space used for the convenience of the proprietor while another suitable place of business exists does not qualify. Some examples are in order. Roger is an attorney who rents a regular office, but also uses his den at home for paperwork and research. This use does not qualify. Janine is also an attorney who does her paperwork and research in a spare bedroom in her home rather than renting an office. She meets clients at a local coffee shop. This use does qualify. Albert is a traveling sales representative who works primarily out of his vehicle. He stores inventory in his garage. This use does qualify. Bernard is an auto mechanic with no suitable place in his rented garage to do record keeping and payroll. For this, he uses a spare room in his home. This use does qualify. Next, the space in the home must be regularly and exclusively used for business activities. This is best explained using examples. Ariana is a podcaster who uses a spare room in her home to record and edit her podcasts and perform administrative work for her business. This use does qualify. Denny is an independent truck driver who uses a laptop on his dining room table for administrative tasks. The table is usually used for the family meals. This use does not qualify. Claiming business use of the home is only permitted for a sole proprietor filing a Schedule C or a farmer filing Schedule F. Partners may also be able to deduct from their partnership incomes unreimbursed expenses if they use their homes for business purposes. Unfortunately, for the millions of Americans who now work at home and are not in business for themselves, claiming expenses for business use of the home is not permitted, even if it is the only place the employee works. This also applies to owners or members of S corporations, since they are usually considered to be employees of the corporation. Also, expenses for business use of the home can neither create nor increase a business loss. Under specific circumstances, disallowed expenses for business use of the home may be carried forward to a future year. There are two methods for claiming expenses for business use of the home: the simplified method or the actual expense method. This video describes the simplified method. Under the simplified method, you measure the square footage of the part of your home that is regularly and exclusively used for business and multiply that square footage by $5. A maximum of 300 square feet may be used to claim a maximum deduction of $1,500. To use the simplified method, there is no need to fill out a separate form. You measure the area of the space you are using for business and put the square footage on line 30B of your Schedule C. Enter the total square footage of your home on line 30A. To calculate the deduction, take the square footage of the space up to 300 and multiply it by $5. The result cannot be more than the amount on line 29 of your Schedule C. Enter whatever amount is lower on line 30. The advantages of using the simplified method are many. Very little record keeping is required, and if you own your home, you can still take a full deduction for mortgage interest and property taxes on Schedule A. Also, when you sell your home, you do not have to recapture any depreciation you may have taken when calculating business use of the home using actual expenses. But the simplified method might not be good for you if you use a large portion of your home for business purposes. If you live in a high cost of living area, you might also be shortchanged using the simplified method. If either of these are the case, you would probably be better off using the actual expense method. The actual expense method for calculating expenses for business use of the home will be the subject of the next video in this series, so subscribe and tap the bell to be notified when it's released. The simplified method for computing a deduction for business use of the home is an easy way for most work-at-home proprietors to decrease their taxable incomes. Additional information and resources on the Simplified Method can be found in the video description. If you found this video informative, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who would find it useful. And as always, your questions, comments, and suggestions are always welcome in the comment space below. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with more of your taxes oversimplified.